Where better to learn about preparing for grand royal banquets than at this monumental country house, given to a duke by a queen in the 18th century. It may not be a royal home, but it's a palace. And historian Matt Green is here to learn all about royal etiquette.
I've come to Blenheim Palace to meet someone called Grant Harold, who runs the Royal Butler School, to get a crash course on how to put on a royal banquet. But on second thoughts, I think I should be entering via the servants' quarters.
For 7 years, Grant Harold worked as a butler to Prince Charles, the Duchess of Cornwall, the Duke of Cambridge, and Prince Harry.
Hi, Grant.
Hello, Mark.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Good, thanks.
This way.
Blenheim Palace was built for the Duke of Marlborough. 150 years later, his descendant Winston Churchill was born here. Over the generations, there have been many royal guests.
Wow. This is the entrance hall of Blenheim Palace?
Yes.
It's like something out of a fairy tale. State banquets, per se, don't happen here, but it's not dissimilar, and it gives us a sense of the much grander state banquets. And is it true that they're laid out with almost a degree of military precision?
They are. I mean, obviously, royal standards are the kind of what everyone wants to kind of aspire to in these kind of homes. And the aristocrats are known for copying the way that royals do things.
Presumably, in order to achieve the meticulousness of this layout, to have that effect that's really quite mind-blowing, you have to measure everything.
At Buckingham Palace, they have they've got obviously a measuring stick that's actually got the markings on it as to where things should be. So there's a distance, obviously, which they'll measure from the edge of the table to the back of the chair.
Okay.
They'll measure the space settings between each place to make sure that it's the right distance. They measure the glass, they measure the cutlery. So it's right, that's how precise it has to be.
As butler at Highgrove, Prince Charles' private residence, Grant would oversee this kind of table preparation. Before work can start, each member of staff must don a pair of white gloves.
The white gloves, obviously, it's so we protect the silver and the glass when we don't get any marks, because it's already probably been polished and cleaned.
Yeah.
We can always double check it, but normally it is already done by the time it comes to the room, and then all we're having to do is actually put things down. You want to make sure it is symmetrical and you're not off to the side or anything. If there's any crests or anything, always make sure they're pointing to the top.
Pointing north, okay.
Yes.
Another trick to laying a table is the rule of thumb. The gap between crockery and cutlery must be an inch, about the length from a thumb knuckle to tip.
The soup spoon's going to go on the right.
On the right?
And again, with maybe a millimetre or two between. And then the pudding cutlery on top. That's good.
Okay.
Maybe just a fraction down.
Right.
Then we're going to get the side plate and the small knife. So they're going to go just to the left.
To the left?
And then the knife is just going to go on the right-hand side, on the edge. The blade pointing away.
Okay, so it's looking pretty complete now.
And we're going to get the glassware. This is going to be for the red wine, and this is going to be for the white. So you want to put it just to the right of the blade of obviously the main course knife.
Yeah.
The red wine, just up to the left.
Like that?
You have to maybe push it just a little bit closer, just again a millimetre maybe away, and then pop the red there. So the champagne goes to the right of the white wine, directly opposite the red. And then lastly, you've got the port glass, and that just goes directly behind. And then you've created the diamond formation. We just need the napkin. In the centre.
In the centre, like that.
Beautifully done.
And there we are, voila. It's really pleasing to see it come together like that.
Protocol and etiquette governs everything at the banquet. How to sit, and of course, how to converse.
Remember, we don't put elbows on the table, we don't put wrists on the table, we don't lie on the table. The only time your hands are on the table is actually when you're actually using, obviously picking up the cutlery and you're eating.
What would you say is the biggest faux pas I could make?
If you were sitting at the table and you brought out your mobile phone, that would be such a big,
Right.
you know, I think somebody would probably even say something to you because it wouldn't be done.
Say I were lucky enough to be sitting next to the Queen. Would she talk to me? Is there a protocol about who she talks to when?
With a state banquet, they're going to have the most senior guest to the right, and the Queen will normally speak to that person for, say, the starter, the main course, and then going into the pudding.
Oh, so you get your guaranteed FaceTime
Oh, yes,
with the Queen.
you'll get
you don't
some
need to
time.
worry about
No,
kind of
don't need to worry
cutting
about
in with a...
No.
So it sounds like a pretty decorous occasion. I'm guessing there were certain foods that were off the menu because they were too messy.
Yes, I mean, things like spaghetti, you don't really want to sit there trying to eat spaghetti, and we know how tricky it can be and how messy, and with all the finery, that's the last thing you want is bits of spaghetti landing all over the place. So ideally you want to kind of keep it as graceful and elegant as possible.
I can't wait to do it for real.
I know, so all you have to do is now write to the Queen and ask for your invitation.
I'll get
Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Being a royal butler is not really a job, it's more of a